My previous pistol builds are surrounded by damage. Most of them are, but the one that I've made in this video is actually armor based. This one kind of sounds unusual. I wanted to make a tank pistol build, which kind of fits all the other tank builds that I've made previously. Plus, I don't think I've ever really made one, so I wanted to try this. I want to give you guys an example of how a build like this would actually perform. My layout is very generic. Almost completely meta based. Player would say this is a meta pistol build. These pieces are very important for how I'm building this tank wise. I do have perfect efficient, which is necessary. Everything else is pretty much damage based, from the backpack, the 3-piece of the Eminence Armaments brand set, which gives you 60% pistol damage for the 3-piece. And the pistol, if you guys are wondering, I am using the Harvest, the second highest damage outputting pistol in the game within the instat boost. I currently have over 560k base damage. I've gone with Optimus for the talent. Overall, this is a really basic pistol build if everything was all reds, but I changed the whole narrative and decided to give armor. For PvE, it does work. I did mention in my previous video with the Regulus that crit chance is pretty much your best friend for pistols, so the higher the crit chance, the more effective your damage is going to be. I have 52% with this, so it is pretty much the sweet spot for damage. I've managed to keep consistently 1 to 2 million crit in PvE, so all the enemies are constantly taking damage. Just enough to where I can actually stay alive. In some parts of this clip you can see I was getting shot, probably almost died in certain situations, but the efficient pretty much helped me. Instead of just constantly popping kits, I wanted to keep as much kits as possible. Not to mention, I do have a little bit of armor regen, which equals up to 32,000. Not a lot, but just enough for me to use my shield. So the equal amount of damage for armor for this build is necessary. It's just enough to where I can actually do much, but I can stay alive within the fight. As for Dark Zone, it does work as well. It is a little hard to play with because armor regen is sort of the key if you want to run a tank pistol build, but I wanted to ease off the regen itself and just have high armor. So therefore, the damage of the pistol will make just as much sense. I tried to get as much regen as I could, but I didn't have enough crit chance. The 3-piece of this brand set was hindering me alone with the armor, so I did as much as I could. The damage on players is good. I believe there is a 500,000 crit for players, probably more. I wasn't really paying attention when I was fighting in some of these clips, but I was getting high crits. Overall, I would say this pistol build is more relatable for people who don't want to rely on full damage. If you want to have some armor and some damage, this is the ideal template for you. The efficient it can be situational, but it does help if you want to keep survivability. The regen is give or take. The damage, however, it is just as good. Now, in this template, I don't think my expertise is at 30 with this pistol, so yes, I'm missing out on a lot of damage. This is an example of how really strong the pistols are in this game. 14 expertise alone is just enough, so I can imagine if everything was maxed out. I would give this a green check for this build. It is equal amount of armor, amount of damage, you can stay alive, along with being able to probably 5-shot out of the 6 bullets whoever you're fighting. Let me know what you guys think about this build. Until then, turn on post notifications so you will never miss a build video, and I will see you guys